Welcome back to Fab Automotive Detailing and Tour Reviews. My truck needs new front struts, and we're going to find on this video if these new quick struts from Maxpeeding Rods are going to work well in my truck. So let's do it. So here recently, Maxpeeding Rods has released some quick strut assemblies, and I love this. And the reason why, gone are the days of replacing just the springs if you need springs, or just the strut if you need a strut. I have replaced more than I can ever count as far as springs or struts on a spring compressor. You put it in the tool, you compress it, you take your nut off, take your mount off, take the spring off, or if you want to put the spring, if you want to leave the spring, if you're going to reuse the spring, leave the spring, pull your strut out, put the new one in. I've done so many of those. It's so nice that companies are doing this now. And the awesome thing about these are priced very, very well. And if you live in the United States, shipping is free. These are $139 for the set. I do want to mention, Maxpeeding Rods did send these to me, but it's really wild because I ordered a ton of stuff from my truck because the right front strut has been leaking for a little while. It's not under warranty. I have an extended warranty. And Dodge, Ram, whatever you want to call them, they call it a shock. Well, my warranty covers struts, not shocks. And since Dodge Ram calls them strut or shocks, they weren't covered under the warranty. So I need them. I've been needing them for a little while. I ordered new springs for the rear, quick struts for the front, a new transmission oil pan. I'm doing an oil change. I did all my differential fluids, put a new differential cover on the back, a more rigid one that really tightens up the rear end. Changed transfer case fluid, changing the fuel filter, all the air filter, cabin filter, doing a bunch of stuff to it. Well, anyways, they reached out to me after I'd already ordered my stuff and said, hey, we'd like to send these to you because I have worked with them in the past in videos. And I was like, are you kidding me? Because I just ordered some. The other one's funny thing is these got here faster than the ones that I ordered from American Truck. So we're going to put these on. We're going to see how well these work, how well they seem to ride or handle. I did measure the front of the truck off camera because I wasn't planning on making this video right away. So I did write that down, so we'll see if it raises it, because I don't want it to raise it. I want the stock ride height. Reason why, and yes, I talk a lot, you guys. I'm sorry, I get so many comments, people telling you, you talk too much, just shut up. I'll put a timestamp here so you can go straight to installing them. The reason why is I tow a camper. When you level or lift a truck, and then you put a camper on the back and it squats the rear end, your front end is coming up. And believe it or not, that really affects your steering. So when I see these guys with these lifted trucks that put a camper on the back and their truck's squatting and the front of the truck is up, you are actually losing the ability to have full control of the steering of your vehicle. So I like to have a stock ride height. The springs I put on the back are a 50% heavier spring than what I had because I want to try to stop some of that squat when I put the camper on. So enough with that. Let's get back to the Maxpeeding Rods quick struts. I printed off their website. What they say about these, because I think it's very interesting that all the testing that they have done and how well these things are heavy. I mean, they are heavy. They look really, really good. Now, looks don't tell you everything. We're going to find out, but they look really, really good. But let me tell you a little bit about them really quick, and then we're going to get them put on the truck. The strut assembly uses Japanese, and I'm going to say ENOS brand damping oil to ensure that the shock absorber can maintain stable function at negative 40 degrees Celsius up to 80 degrees Celsius. The damping oil has been precisely tested in the laboratory for viscosity, density, high and low temperature function, etc., to ensure the stability of each batch of damping oil. Thicker strut pipe and heavier springs provide better intensity. I noticed that it is definitely thicker. The spring has been continuously tested for more than 600,000 times of fatigue testing to ensure its high tensile strength. Now you got to remember, this thing's constantly moving when you're driving, so 600,000, I think you'd get there pretty quick. The installation dimensions are strictly controlled to ensure compatibility. The extension and compression length of the spring are consistent with the OE stock strut, ensuring the same stroke as the original factory part. The dampers have undergone 3 million fatigue endurance tests and have no oil leakage, and damping force attenuation rate does not exceed 20%. The welded bracket has undergone 400,000 durability tests under tensile pressure of 0.8 MPa to ensure its strength. The dust cover, 300,000 durability tests without breaking. The high rigidity top mount can reduce the vibration, which is up here, generated by the shock absorber movement and reduce noise. Parts and components are subject to comprehensive material control and 7 quality manufacturing process checkpoints to ensure product quality. The use of the environmental friendly packaging Reduce pollution, which is based on the sustainable development concept. They put a ton into work into these. Now, I have replaced quick struts on my 13, which is the exact same thing. These look identical. These look very, very nice. You're not going to have to worry about the spring rusting definitely anytime soon. It has a very nice coating on it. Has a nice dampener right here. This looks exactly like factory on my Ram. I mean, everything looks good. If you ever do quick struts, make sure you never take this middle one out. That's why there's always a big orange sticker on here. Make sure it's these three. If you take that out, you're going to have a really bad day. It could actually kill you. So you just got to be really careful. But we're going to get these put on the truck. We're going to see if it adjusts the height at all. And then we're going to take it out for a test drive, see how it feels, and see if these things are worth $132 for the pair. That is awesome. Okay, you guys, this is where I'm at. I finally got the strut out. I'm just going to tell you what I did. It's just too hard. If I had a full-size lift where I'm standing up and I can actually use my tripod and mount it so you guys can see everything, it'd be a lot easier to make these videos. So let me just tell you what I did. So according to the instructions from Chrysler on Mitchell, because Mitchell is what I use to tell me how to do jobs basically, it tells you to disconnect the top of the strut, take the bolt out, okay? Take your caliper off, take your rotor off. We did. And it tells you to take the lower nut of the sway bar off. I could not get it free. It would not budge at all. You couldn't get it out. So I started thinking about it, and it does say to remove the wheel hub. So I went ahead and just took the whole knuckle off. As you guys see, took tie rod off, took the knuckle off. Still couldn't get the budge, and I did exactly what they said. So I was like, you know what? Let's try something different. So I took, as you guys see, the top of the sway bar off. Got my pry bar, which is how I was doing it before. And see, I was able to move the control arm down enough to get the strut out, the quick strut. So here they are side by side. Try not to get my feet in the way. They look identical. I would say these are a little bit beefier maybe. Not 100% sure, but I don't know if I can show you guys. That rod is definitely bigger for sure, just like they say. Other than that, the mounts are exactly the same. Everything looks really, really good. So now it's just time to put the new one in. All right, you guys, so we are all the way back together, as you see right there. Went back together nice and easy. It was helpful having Mrs. Fab out here help pry the lower control arm down, but it could be done by yourself, but it's just a lot easier to have a helpful hand. But it's all the way back together, as you see. I'm gonna get the other side put together, and then what we'll do is we'll take it out, we'll drive it, see what it feels like. You don't want to test the height right away because the suspension is not loaded when you first drop it down. Go drive it, hit some cracks, hit some bumps, and then you'll be good to check the height. We'll do that when we get back after doing the test drive. All right, so I got both of them out. The right side is this one, and you can tell it's been leaking. This one you can still see the paint. This one you cannot. It's not leaking heavily, but it's definitely been leaking, so it definitely needs to be done. So I just got to get that other one in. All right, so we are ready to take it for its first test drive. Go ahead and start her up. All right, let's see how she feels. All right, here's the first bump. Ooh, well, something didn't sound right there. We're gonna go back and do that again. That might be a sway bar link though. Don't want to get too far away from my house if there is something wrong. Yeah, look at this sign. They're getting ready to put chip and seal down on my road. Steering wheel straight. Let's see again. Okay, nothing there. American flag, America. So far, so good. That first noise, I'm not sure what that was, but I didn't hear it the next time we went over the bridge, and we're getting ready to drive it down a country road that's not smooth. So when we get to that road, I'll turn the camera back on, and we'll see what it sounds like on that road, because I know it's got all kinds of problems. Indiana roads are terrible if you've never been from Indiana. If you've never been through Indiana, you have no idea what a bad road is. Our roads here are awful. So we're getting ready to hit a little transition here. A pipe goes underneath the road. And I know it's a pretty good little bump just from driving down this road so much. right here. Right. Okay. Nice and quiet. Feels good. Feels stiff. It's not bouncy. Now let's get to the next road. Now we're coming up on a little bridge right here. Nice and easy. It's not this road. It's going to be the next one. All right, we're going to turn on this road. This road right here, I know has some bumps and stuff. By the way, this screen right here, this is for my camper because we're going to go camping. So I always put it up right before we go camping so I can see behind the trailer. You guys probably can't tell on the camera, but right now it's bumpy. Right there, that felt great. No noises. Right there, another one, no noises. I want to build that right there to live in. The house is upstairs. The entire downstairs is garage. Look at all those garage doors on the side of it. Man, I love living in that house. Another bump right there. Another bump. Yeah, man, it feels good, guys. No complaints right here. I'm not sure what that first one was. I'm gonna go back and look at that bridge and see if maybe there wasn't something in the road. Let's go ahead and take a look at it right now outside. To me, it looks like it's sitting exactly how it was before. I think the rear is sitting a little higher. That's because I put those 50% heavier springs in. We're gonna find out when we go inside and measure. Let's look at both sides. Yep, it looks like it did before, which is exactly what I want. I don't want to be setting up too high for when I'm towing. Okay, so here's my previous measurements. Left front was 36.5, right front was 36.75. So let's just see. I'm right-handed, so I gotta go to this side. And I am parked in pretty much the exact same spot that I was before. We are sitting at 36.25. So I actually lowered it about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, for the right front, it was 36.75 before. And we are at 36.25. So that's actually a good thing. Yes, it lowered it. That's this side about maybe 1/2 inch. But now we're even on both sides because before we were 36.5 and 36.75. We were 1/2 inch higher on this side than we were on the left side. So I admit when I mess up, I'm gonna show you guys that noise we heard. See my sway bar link back there? I forgot to tighten them all the way down once the weight was on the truck, because watch this. That's what that noise was. I did not have this tightened. So I got to do this on both sides, because what that does, once it's on the ground, it flattens these out perfectly, because before they were kind of at an angle. That's why you always do it on the ground. And I didn't. So that was my fault. Okay, that one's tight. All right, so now the question is, what do I think of the quick struts from Maxpeeding Rods? These have been on for about a month now. I have well over 500, I've almost 500 miles just in towing with them on the front. I think they're really good. Now, I do have one complaint, and the only complaint that I have is they are a little stiff. Now, I say that because in Indiana, when our bridge transitions, it's not like this like in any other state, it seems like. They are rough. And some of them, especially when driving off of my road where we have a bridge, it's not actually in this video, but there's a bridge as I'm going to our main road that the truck goes up, and as it comes down, it hits that transition. That transition's thick. It's very stiff. And I notice it like pulling into parking lots that have a transition from the road. You can tell it's kind of stiff in the front end, but driving down the road, hitting like potholes, not necessarily potholes because most of our potholes are covered, but have blacktop filled in. Nice and smooth. They ride smooth. I have zero issues there. They were amazing when I towed. I had zero issues when I towed with it. It's just, they feel really, really good. But what I have noticed, like I said, I've put probably, so I put almost 500 towing. So I've probably put 600, maybe 700 miles. I've driven it plenty of times without the camper on it. It's getting a little bit softer. It's not as stiff when I hit that same transition when I drive the truck all the time. It seems to be getting a little bit softer, which I figured that it probably would. In fact, I noticed that it actually lowered the truck just a little bit more in the front end, almost 1/4 inch, because they're actually starting to settle in. And they're kind of loosening up, I guess is the best way to put that. But they're softening up, but not as stiff. But that's my only complaint. They look good. They feel good. They mounted up exactly the way they should from the OE mount points. They look just like the OE struts. Time will tell how long they last. As far as durability, I don't know. Will the springs start to rust? That's one of the issues we have with quick struts or with springs. Will the seal start to fail where the strut starts to leak? How long will that take that to happen? That's stuff I don't know. I can't answer that because I have not had them on there very long to actually tell you guys. But for $132 with free shipping, man, I would deal with the stiffness that this has all day, every day for that price. I mean, you can't beat that. That is a fantastic price for a great product that's well made. I mean, just looking at them, you can tell that they're very well made, and they put a lot of time and research into them when they made them. And they make them for multiple different cars. So I'll put a link in the description of the video where you guys can go to their website. You can check it out, see if they offer it for your car. But I definitely, on a 10 scale, I'm going to give about an 8.5 to a 9 just because of stiffness. Everything else, it worked absolutely fantastic, and they are super smooth just going down the highway. So thank you guys so much for watching this video and checking it out. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Join the Fab family. We'd love to have you. We'll see you in the next video.